Let the church say amen. Good evening, everyone. How are you? Amen, amen, amen. God bless each and every one of you. It's so good to see you in the house of the Lord on this chilly Wednesday night. Thought I was going to be by myself, but y'all done bless my soul. Amen, 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 amen. Let us go to God in a word of prayer. Gracious and eternal God, we first say thank you. We thank you for this day, God. We thank you for all that you've done and all that you continue to do in our lives. And God, we bless you and honor you and adore you for your worthy of it all. And we magnify your holy name. Heavenly Father, we ask right now that you would endow us with your presence. Manifest yourself in this place strong and mighty as only you can. And God, we'll be careful to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all of the praise. We love you, we thank you, we magnify you, we adore you, and we give you thanks. It is in the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen. And thank God. Somebody say hallelujah. And blessed be the name of the Lord. It is so good to see each and every one of you in the house of the Lord tonight. I don't know if you've done it already, but look at you and say, hey, neighbor. Amen, 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 amen. It is so good to be here on tonight. Amen. A couple of quick things. We want to continue to pray for all of our sick and shut-in, as well as all of our bereaved families. We want to also keep lifted up those family members of ours, the Armstrong family, the Alford family, who lost loved ones. We ask that you would keep them in your private hour of prayer. Amen. Also, all those who are sick in the hospital, want to keep Sister Asbury Hayes in prayer as well. She's in the hospital, but she's recovering. Amen, amen, amen. This Sunday at 11 a.m., we will have the 107th year celebration of Rock Island existence on this corner on the west side of Port Arthur. Amen? Amen. We are elated and excited about it. Amen. Amen and amen. So we ask right now that you would spread the word that we're going to find ourselves in the house of the Lord this coming Sunday. Also, next week commences our Thanksgiving holiday celebration. So next week we will not have any activities in the church, no Bible study, so we can spend some time with our family members and our loved ones. Amen? Amen. 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 All right. All right. Turn with me in your Bibles to the book of Matthew, chapter number 5, and we're going to find verse number 13. Matthew's Gospel, the 5th chapter, and the 13th verse. Matthew chapter number 5 and verse number 13. And when you have it, say amen. If you don't have it yet, say I'm coming, Pastor. Amen. Matthew chapter number 5, verse 13. The Bible says, "You are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its flavor, how shall it be seasoned? It is then good for nothing, but to be thrown out and trampled underfoot by men. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. Amen. I do have a title for this one as we've been combing through Matthew. This one is Influence and Illumination in the World. Influence and illumination in the world. How many know that we have influence? And our job is to illuminate the light of the world, which is Jesus Christ that lives on the inside of each and every one of us. So as we come through the 8 Beatitudes, we saw Christian character and the essence of what a Christian should look like by Jesus' description in Matthew chapter number 5, verses 3 through 12. But then Jesus shifts from what we should look like as a believer into how we should act as a believer. Amen. Amen. So he uses two key words. He says salt and light. Somebody say salt, and light. Amen. Amen. We're going to talk about that for just a little while. So the first thing about salt is it does three things. Salt preserves, salt seasons, and salt makes you thirsty. Y'all thought I had something deep, huh? Salt preserves, salt seasons, and salt makes you thirsty. Amen. So you do a little bit of research and you understand that in the Jewish custom, they ate goat, they ate lamb, they ate fresh, killed meat, but they did not have that Whirlpool or Kenmore or Samsung or LG, Sub-Zero refrigerator like you got at your house, right? Amen. With 22 cubic feet of freezer space where you can put everybody and your mom in that freezer, right? They didn't have any of those things. So in order for them to preserve meat, they would get handfuls of salt and they would rub it over the meat, and the salt would preserve the meat. Y'all see where we're going so far? It not only preserved the meat, but it also seasoned the meat, because the longer the salt sat on it, anytime you season something and leave it on it for a long period of time, it does what? It marinates the meat. That means it gets all on the inside of the meat. So Jesus is telling them, you are the salt of the earth. Oh, Lord have mercy. And then the gospel writer, when he hears what Jesus said, he puts a semicolon on this. He doesn't put a comma there, nor does he put a colon there. He puts a semicolon there, which means the thought that comes after that may be different from what you just read. So then he says, you are the salt of the earth, semicolon. Then he says, but if the salt loses its flavor, it's good for what? Nothing. Okay, so in the first sense, Jesus expects us to preserve the world from decay. Because salt preserved the meat from decaying. So think about it. If they killed an animal, immediately that meat is going to start what? Breaking down. So what they would do is they would cut the meat, they would get the meat, and then they would get the salt and rub it on the meat. To keep the meat from what? Breaking down. So that means when they put salt on the meat, it stopped the process of decay. I ain't talking to nobody. Okay. So any born-again believer on earth should be salt, and he should embody what it means to be saved and be willing to help others who don't know how to be a Christian. Because the salt of our salvation is something that works internally. In other words, it works on the heart. I know a lot of times you'll see me hit this, the little 4-pound muscle that pumps blood through your body. I'm not talking about that heart. I'm talking about the heart of your existence, your mind. And what happens is our Christianity is housed in our mind. Your thoughts, your feelings, your affections. So you as salt are affected internally. Y'all hear what I'm saying? He said, well, what happens when this salt loses its flavor? Now, y'all know that's pretty difficult. That means in order for salt to lose its saltiness, it has to be what? Diluted. I'm getting happy all by myself today. See, Jesus was not making a comparison to a condiment. He was showing you what a preservative is instead. So when he talks about it, salt preserved the meat in ancient times. It kept everything from decaying. Watch this. In doing so, the meat was still usable after it had come in contact with salt.
That's something I need to point out. Are we preserving the ministry of salvation for lost souls? Or are we useless to the world because we've lost our saltiness? Are we a part of the agent of change? Or are we a part of the problem that's going on? Okay, so we're going to get into that as we talk about light in a second here. See, because we should not go out of our way to make the world comfortable with living a life of sin and immorality. I have conversations all the time, and the first thing they'll throw at you was, so what is your opinion on abortion? And what is your opinion on capital punishment? I say, don't make me try to invoke my morality against my spirituality. I say, because the God I serve is the author of all morality. So then I always take the higher order, which is my spirituality. You're asking the wrong person the wrong question. I know where you're trying to bring me, and you're not going to bring me there. You're trying to say, well, if you say you're against abortion, then you think like a Republican. But if you say you're not for capital punishment, you say you think like a Democrat. Well, I must be a libertarian because I ain't for either one of them. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Don't let people drag you in a conversation about your morality against your spirituality. A lot of things we call right and wrong are right and wrong only in some people's eyes. See, the problem we may have is, what book are you coming from? Yeah. When they come to us with a question about our morality, where are you coming from? Because if you're not coming from the scripture, then your morality gets thrown out the window because you have none. You have what we call self-exaltation. That's how salt loses its flavor. When it exalts itself. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, are you salty? I'm not talking about some feeling some type of way. I'm not talking about getting mad at you. I'm just asking them. Are you preserving the gospel of Jesus Christ? Is that what you really live by? See, the problem we have in church, Deacon and Sister Darcy, you know the problem we have in church? I'm not sure everybody reading from the same book. Yeah. So I may come in and quote you Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, in the beginning, God said, let there be light. And you ain't in my book. You in Facebook. All right. Am I talking to anybody? Yeah. In other words, you're not even where I am. You're not trying to connect with me where I'm trying to go. You're trying to use the world's way of thinking to try to slide it in with my way of thinking, and we won't mix. My spirituality should be the dominant force in affecting your immorality. I ain't talking to nobody. See, because when the church forgets who it is, that's how you lose your saltiness also. When you start forgetting who you are. You're not supposed to make them feel comfortable. That's right. No, I ain't supposed to be arguing with you either, but I'm also not supposed to be making you feel comfortable living in sin. That's right. Because see, then we say stuff like, well, you know, nobody can judge me but God. Amen. Amen. But you need to stop sleeping with his wife. Come on, Pastor. Or you need to stop smoking that stuff. Yeah. Or you know what I'm saying. Yeah. You got to be really, really careful and how you start listening and chronicling when they say, well, what's the difference between manslaughter and murder? That's a world way of thinking. Yeah. They did, huh? Yeah. Somebody killed them, huh? Yeah. Okay, how you characterize it is irrelevant. It's either sin or it's not, in other words. Yeah. So as we become that agent of salt and that agent of change in a dark world or in a world that's saltless, who then are you? Are you a part of the solution, which is being born again, or are you a part of the problem? You sitting back holding your hands and folding your hands because you don't want people to ostracize you. You don't want people to make you feel uncomfortable because you believe in Jesus. Well, you shouting him. That's right. What you scared of out there? That's right. Yes, so your gospel only good in here? Well, I don't need to see it in here. That's right. Yeah. Because you're here to be taught the gospel. Yeah, I don't expect you to be an expert at the gospel because none of us are. However, when you get out there, the gospel you've been taught should be affecting the people you're coming in contact with. That's right. That's right. Yes, sir. Remember, the world we live in, they're not friends of God. They are his enemies. That's why we are who we are. We ought to preserve what God has placed in us so that others may see him in us. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, are you salt?
Are you salt?
Look, bottom line, my brothers and sisters, we will not always be on top of the mountain. We will not always have joy. We will not always be elated. We will not always be happy. We will not always not be going through a test, trial, or struggle. That's not reality. All of us sometimes go through different things. It's called life. And as we live this life, we're going to find ourselves from time to time dealing with certain things. However, that has nothing to do with me being who I am in Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's right.
Because that part of it comes with me being a believer. Wait, it also comes with you being a sinner. There's no exemption, in other words. There's no exemption. Okay, you say, well, if I'm saved, then I won't go through the sinners go through. Who told you that? It's just that you have some help on your side. Y'all want to hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know where my help at.
Yeah.
Our example of perseverance should always be on display for others to see. We are to never lose what we stand for and who we stand for. That is when we lose our flavor when we act outside of his will for our life. We should be the gateways for the world. Don't say amen when Pastor teaching good. I'm checking y'all out tonight. I got y'all number tonight. Dig Jomo, when I tell them about being salt, they're looking at me like this. Now last week he was shouting about a new weapon. Now you gonna come tell me about salt. We know Thanksgiving coming up, Pastor. We should live our life in such a way for God that others should want what we have. We should live our lives in such a way for God that others want the Jesus or want to know the Jesus we know. Well, if you ain't excited about who you serve, maybe that salt losing its flavor. So deliver me, Jesus, from saltless Christians.
Yes.
People who didn't forgot what it took to get here.
Yeah. Come on.
See, the journey is a reminder that I may not be perfect, but the grace of God in this church age has been helping me every single day of my life. That because I trusted him even when I didn't understand, that because I leaned and depended on him when things got tough, I kept my soul flavored. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. Come on now.
I stayed able, even when I was going through, I was still able to give a prayer for somebody else.
Yeah.
Even when I was at my lowest points, I was still able to give an encouraging word to somebody else because I realized I'm salt. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be making this place better, not tearing it apart.
That's right.
Praise the name of our God. So remember, the earth needs salt, not religion. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, the earth needs salt, not religion. See, because we can lay religion down. Oh, I'm going to look at the lights. I'm going to look at the lights. We can lay religion down. Y'all know what's funny? We can think back in our minds that somebody laid it down and told us, amen, I'm going to leave it there. Praise the name of our God. But see, when you know you're salt, you don't take that on and off. That's who you are all the time. I was told integrity is what you are when people not around.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Integrity is what you are when people not around. You know, we can be a public success to some folks and a private failure.
That's right.
Teach, Pastor Domingo.
Yeah, come on.
The salt should not be losing its flavor. Stay with me. So, listen to this. Then he turns from salt. He's teaching his disciples that the salt should, he said it loses its flavor. Guess what it's good for? Nothing. He said you can throw it on the ground and literally walk on it because it is absolutely useless. I don't want to live and fight and go through all I go through for him to classify me as useless.
All right. Yeah. Come on.
Even if I just add a little bit to you than what you were before, I'm doing something.
That's right.
Even if I'm helping you when you find yourselves at the end and you can't go no further. Guess what? I'm preserving that. Even when somebody who didn't know Jesus sat back and watched me and said, I don't know what it is, I can't put my finger on it, but it's just something different about you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's just something different that it has some soul.
Yeah. All right.
I ain't come for amens. I came to teach y'all the word tonight. Salt works to preserve or work internally, whereas light manifests the glory of God and should be seen externally or work externally. With both examples, it is clear that there ought not to be a doubt as to who you are. So in 3 verses, Jesus said, you are salt, you work internally, you are light, you expose and illuminate externally. He said, in other words, it shouldn't be a confusion about who you are.
Yeah.
Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, do you know? Jesus gave us his light. The world needs our illumination. The life we live should not have our light hidden. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, don't hide your light. So the disciples of Christ must not muffle themselves up in privacy or obscurity under pretense of contemplation, modesty, or self-preservation. But as they have received the gift, they must minister the same. In other words, we shouldn't be a secret service Christian. You ever saw one of them? Trent, you ever saw one of them? Dark. Light ain't on. Sister Coleman, why are you looking at me like that? I'm not talking to none of y'all, I'm just saying. Christians have something, even if the light is small, they have something that illuminates in the dark. And how many know you don't need much light in the dark to see where the light is? Turn off all the lights in your house and get you one of them glow-in-the-dark little $9 watches from Walmart and watch everybody in the house know where you at. Because that little bit of light illuminates in the dark. So let me help some of y'all today. You can't hide who you are.
That's right. That's right.
You've been trying to fit in these circles with these folk, and you trying to act like them when they should be trying to act like you.
Right. Yeah.
But instead of us affecting that environment, we're letting that environment. Birds of a feather, eagles don't hang with ducks. Look at your neighbor and say, fly away, get up out of there. Because sometimes it's one thing for me to jump to minister to somebody and to meet them where they are. It's another thing to hang out with them and condone what they do. See, it's okay if you check me and tell me I was wrong. The Bible says you correct a wise man, he should say thank you.
That's right. That's right.
And you'll know he got wisdom when he tell you thank you, and then he make the correction.
Amen.
But what happens when you correct a fool? We become the standard in which the world gains its direction on which way they should go or how they should be because of what they see us demonstrate. Ooh, that's a little bit high. Joe looked at it, that looked like pastor. It will only be seen if the Holy Spirit is allowed and given free rein in our life to show the love of God through us. See, it comes all the way back to the very same thing that you should not miss. Jesus gave us his love for us to give away his love.
Yeah.
Okay, so in all of this, it encompasses and it says one simple thing. You are supposed to be a conduit of what the love of God should be able to flow through to come into the world. In other words, it ought to be something he can use you to do to either help affect somebody on the inside or for the world to see which way to go on the outside. Y'all know what I'm saying? The world we live in is dead, it's decayed, it's dark. And the only way they will ever get to God is if they're able to use us as the guide or the way to get out of what they are in. Christianity is not meant to be hidden, shamed out of existence, blacked out because of a double standard or a dual lifestyle, or a life that is meant to be seen to show the glory of God through us so that the world can come to know God as the Father. I said a lot, I know I did. I said a lot. So the bottom line with that statement is this, and I'm almost done, is your Christianity should not be hidden.
Right.
People forget this one thing, that we're still a work in progress.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Minister Trent, it would be easy if salvation then took away your humanity. And then you were able to be like Jesus was and God in the flesh. This would be easy. This would be easy, right? Unfortunately, that's not what happens. Some of us, it's not so much we have to start to learn all this new morality and right and wrong. We know all that stuff. But it's all that other stuff we had learned along the way that got your light dim. Anybody ever put a lampshade over a lamp, over a light, and then the light does one, it goes this way, and then it goes that way. But it doesn't go panoramic. It doesn't illuminate everything until you do what? Until you take the shade off, and then you can see the light all over what? The whole room. You understand? The light then exposes things that you probably wouldn't have seen if the lights was off.
All right.
Now, y'all know I'm crazy. I almost ran in there and turned all the lights off just now. So I could make my demonstration real. So y'all can see what it looked like to be in the y'all know what it is. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? So I ain't got to pass, I got to turn the light off, right? Okay. Y'all gonna let me make it on that one? However, what I will show you is this. Look at that. And got on glasses, right? Flashlight. What happens when you do this to light? Joe, they about to miss it. Too many Christians doing this. They're playing peekaboo. The world would see how to make it Jesus, but you're playing peekaboo.
Yeah.
My bed, they're playing peekaboo. Sunday morning, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Monday, Tuesday. Y'all know why I'm laughing? Because I done did that. I done did that. What you say, D? Part-time. Peekaboo. The light ain't supposed to be covered. He said you're a city that's set on a hill that cannot be hid. In other words, what he's saying is there is a beacon that you're supposed to be. They used those lighthouses when the ships would sail because the water was shallow as you get close to land. So what the lighthouse would do is it would beam the light so that the ship would see this light flashing and it would see the shoreline. So that the ship wouldn't come so close to the shore that it went around because it's supposed to stay in deep water. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Because God never wanted you to be shallow.
Yeah, right.
He wanted you to launch out into the what?
All right now. All right. Yeah.
And too many of us playing it safe and trying to stay close to the coastline of life so that we're not all the way over here, but we're not all the way over there. So we play peekaboo with our life. And now I understand then, Ariel, why some people so stressed out all the time, why Christians take more depression medicine than some worldly folk.
Yeah. Come on. Come on.
I understand now, because it's kind of hard to live a double life.
Yeah.
Or it's hard to try to be one way one time, then another way another time. It's almost like a perpetual lie. You got to keep remembering the lie they told. So in order to stay above the lie, they got to make up another lie. Y'all don't know nobody like that. I'm not talking about nobody. I'm just saying. Yeah. Can God be seen in us? Can his light shine through you so that others can see that empty tomb that had the little grave clothes folded neatly, put in place because he had no intention on staying there?
All right.
Can they see him, or do they keep running into you? So, well, I'm just having a bad day. Well, you should have stayed home.
All right now.
The rest of us might be having a bad day too, but you the light.
Yeah.
So the light should not be hidden. Jesus said this, and I'm almost done. He says, nor do they light a lamp and then put it under a basket, but they put it on what? A lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. What he's talking about is how they poured the liquid or the kerosene in the bottle, and they took a wick, and they dropped it in the bottle, and then they lit it. And the wick would burn down, but because the wick was dipped in the fluid, it burned slowly, but it gave off a lot of light. See, some of y'all remember those houses where we lit those little candles. You understand? Y'all remember back in the day, right? And y'all know how it is. If the power went out, you would get you what? Your candles. So you get what? Because nobody wants to walk in the dark.
Yeah.
I just said a whole lot this time.
Yeah.
So when the world is walking in dark, that's because it's used to darkness. So when they walk, we understand why, because they're walking in darkness. You shouldn't be walking in that same darkness.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
You should be giving off light.
Amen.
You should be preserving, and you should be illuminating so that others can see what? Your good works. So that's what the text said, right? Remember we talked a while back about good works and dead works? We talked about that. And one of the things he's mentioning is what he backed up in the Beatitudes. The Beatitudes illustrate good works. Works that what? Glorify God, but not me. The problem is, the reason we can play peekaboo with the light is because we don't want God to be seen. We want to be seen.
Come on.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah. Last thing. Our walk with God is much more than religion or an organization. Our walk with God is much more than religion or an organization. He says, let your light so shine that men may see your good works, not dead works, and then glorify your Father which is in heaven. In other words, God says, when I'm able to show myself through you to others, that brings glory back to the Father. Several times in the scripture, Jesus said, I don't do my own works, but I do the works of him that sent me. I'm not here to take glory or credit for myself, but I give it all back to who? My Father. Our mission and our endeavor should be the same. I don't want the glory for me. The glory should always be to God. Pastor made a promise to himself when I took on the responsibility and the job of the pastor that I want to make God proud.
Amen. Amen.
I want to make God proud, because when you be men pleasers, you'll never get off that treadmill.
Amen. Yeah.
You'll never get off that
Yeah.
race
Yeah.
if you're trying to please man.
Yeah.
You have to be determined to please God. You know something? Sometimes that means you might have to walk alone.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes that means you might be by yourself.
Yeah. Come on. That's
Sometimes that means you may not be readily accepted in the groups.
Yeah.
Because you bringing too much light up in here
Yeah,
when we want some stuff to be in the dark.
All right now. That's right.
Don't hate me because I don't like the dark.
All right. Yes. Yes.
Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Somebody give God a hand clap of praise. As we continue to dig in the Word of God, we will continue to learn that Christians do have expectations that the Lord has for our life. Man, let me tell you something. The best teaching in the world is not the teaching that can shout you so happy that you forgot what the preacher said when you walked out the door. That ain't the stuff that's going to change your life. You know what's going to change your life? When you leave out of church, you're thinking about it. Am I salt?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I light? Am I keeping it real?
Come on now.
You know, am I looking in the mirror and not liking what I see? So I'm gonna act like something I'm not to please them, so they can accept me and make me feel like I have value. You gotta know who you are in Him.
Yeah. That's right.
I have something on the inside of me that somebody died to give me.
Amen. All right, Lord.
And you know something? I'm glad about it every day.
Yeah.
I'm glad about it every day. And you know what? Till I die in this flesh, that's going to be my preaching sermon. I'm glad about it. I don't know what makes you happy, but I'm glad He died for me. I'm glad He gave His life in my place. I'm glad that He loved me when people hate me.
Yeah.
I'm glad that He cares when people leave me by myself. I'm glad that He doesn't give up on me. And He continues to make a way for me when people feel like I don't deserve that.
Yeah.
You know what? It's because He loves me so much. I feel like all the time, if it's just me and Jesus, that's enough for me to fight the devil. If it's just me and Jesus, that's enough for me to overcome. If it's just me and Jesus, that's enough for me to keep it moving. You know why? Because that's the God that came out of heaven, put on sinful flesh, came here, suffered and died, went back to heaven, and said, I'm going to come back and get y'all. He going to leave the paraclete. The paraclete. He going to leave the paraclete with me, the Holy Spirit, so that I'll have a part of Him with me till He come back and get me.
Amen.
Y'all give us Amen, amen, amen. So again, He has some expectations for our life and how we should carry ourselves. We should be different. We should be different. They shouldn't be able to push us in a room where we don't stand out.
That's right.
Not because you're outspoken and talk too much, but because you're silent. Your silent spirit. When it enters the room, everybody just want to know, who is this?
Yeah.
Not, please shut up. Or glad to see you going like, thank you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. In other words, bottom line in the text, I ought to add value to someone once they've had an encounter with me.
Yeah.
Say, Lord, help me
Lord help me.
to raise the bar
Praise the Lord.
in my life.
My life.
In Jesus' name. Somebody give a hand clap. So on this Sunday, we celebrate 107 years, and I can only imagine how much better Port Arthur has been because this little place can be on this corner for 107 years. I encounter people sometimes, yeah, I used to go to Rock Island. And I'm like, and I just smile, and I say, thank God this place was here for you to go to when you came here.
Amen. Yeah.
You needed to see the Lord. Thank God it was here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God somebody was here to minister a word to your soul.
Yeah.
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad about it. So we're going to celebrate 107 years on this coming Sunday. And we'll have our 3 associate ministers. Amen. If Bible study a couple of weeks ago and Sunday night is an indicator of what we're going to get Sunday morning, Lord have mercy. I'm going to be tuning up. Be ready for y'all. I'm coming back. Yeah. Come with this Sunday. I got y'all.
You got it?
Amen. I'm so very proud of each and every one of them. They are giants. They are giants. And I love them so much, man. And I'm so proud of them. Rock Colony is blessed to have them here. Amen. And I want us to cheer them on.
Yeah.
I want us to celebrate the Lord with them.
Yes.
Because it ain't easy standing up there.
That's right.
I'm shaking like a leaf every time I come standing here. No matter what I'm doing, I'm shaking like a leaf every single time. And I told somebody, if you ever lose that, you can leave your Bible wherever it's at. You can stay there with it.
All right.
Yes, sir. Because when you think about His goodness, His grace, how we don't deserve the privilege, it's been nothing but His grace and what He's done. See, Rock Island has grown because God let it grow.
That's right.
Rock Island is moving because God grew it. Ain't nothing He doing. It's because He doing it. And He deserves all the credit and then some. Amen? Amen. I didn't carry y'all long enough listening to me. Y'all stand to your feet real quick. I know that the holiday seasons can be extremely tough. And I know that sometimes we can feel like we are all by ourselves. But I came to tell you, you have a friend that sticks closer than a brother. That you are never, ever alone.
That's right.
That He always stands with us and stands by us. Even in this season of your life, cast your cares on Him because He cares for you. Amen? Amen. Let us bow in a word of prayer as we receive the benediction. Gracious and eternal Father, we say thank you this day for all that you've done and all that you continue to do. Continue to grace us with your mercy and your favor. And God, continue to bless us as we do your will. Now, Lord, even through these holidays, even through this season, even as we celebrate 107 years, God, continue to rain your glory down in this place. And you take all the credit, God. And we say thank you. Now, Lord, bless us even as we leave this place, but never your presence.
Yes, Lord.
Bring us back at the appointed time and we give you the praise forever. Lord, I speak life to every dead issue that needs your people life. I speak peace to every storm. Lord, I speak help to every burden, and I ask that you give them strength to continue to walk this journey. I'm asking, God, that you be with them, that you would cover them and keep them as only you can. And we give your name all the glory, all of the honor, and all of the praise. We love you, we thank you, we magnify you, we adore you, we give you praise. It's in the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Hug somebody and tell them you love them. Amen.